Alright everyone, this is Stammer and welcome back to the channel that's all about stammering, stuttering and everything in between. So, video calls. There's been a lot of them over the last few months, what with everything happening in the world. Video calls have been huge, and video calls have presented certain challenges, not only for people who stutter, but people in general. I remember at the start of the pandemic, with my work, some of us were going to be working from home, some of us were going to be working on site, and we were going to be scattered to the wind, essentially. And it was going to be very hard to meet up in person. So we decided we would do calls. And almost immediately, one of my managers said, okay, we can do a video call, but we don't need to show our faces. And I, at that time, was like, I'd rather we showed our faces. Because for me personally, as a person who stammers, I have silent blocks. So when I stammer, you can't always hear that I'm stammering. And over the phone, that can be very, very disconcerting for me, because when I stammer, I'm worried they're going to think it's a bad line. I've had people ask me, oh, I think there's something wrong, I think you're breaking up, yada yada yada. So I would rather avoid that if I can. So I asked if we could have video on instead. Another pro to video is if you're on video, even if you're not talking, then you can still react to stuff. You can still... I've got a very expressive face. We had a recording of one of my team meetings a couple of months ago because one of our team wasn't there. And I watched it back later and my face, so many expressions cycled across it. And like, I mute myself if I'm not talking, so you can see me there, muted mic, everything happening. But yeah, I think video calls are better than phone calls, because phone calls are a big thing for people who stutter for various reasons. Just having to talk to someone you can't see, potentially someone you don't know, and them not knowing that you're stuttering, like whether they don't know that you do stutter or not realising you are in that moment. Whereas with video call, if there's a gap, even if they're not looking at you at that moment, they can look at you and be like, oh, it's a stammer. That's fine. So look, video calls have been great in a lot of respects because it has opened up that for working, you can have those conversations and get involved no matter where you are. It means you don't have to travel. It means anyone who's shielding can still contribute. But video calls have increased the anxiety for some people who stammer because, and this is something that people who don't stammer have reported as well, video calls are very draining because unlike in an in-person meeting where if there's lots of people in a room, eyes aren't necessarily on you. So if you're not involved in that discussion, you don't feel like you need to be switched on, engaged. But if you know you're on camera, and if you know that somebody could be looking at you at any time, whether someone is irrelevant, someone could be looking at you. So you feel like you can't sit there and be like, and you might be listening, but you're just not really looking, or you don't look like you're paying attention, even if you are. I feel like you need to be switched on and constantly like, yeah, I totally agree. And it is tiring. However, for people who stammer, there may be some anxiety around having more eyes on you, people seeing you stammer, and being under more pressure to talk because people want to make sure it's fair and want to make sure everyone has their opportunity. And where they wouldn't in an in-person meeting because the person's there, and they will come and check with someone in an online meeting to see if they have anything to add, because they want to make sure that everybody's getting their voice heard, which is great, but it's also added stress for some people. And again, it's not just people who stammer. So that's why some people I know will only turn on their camera if they feel like they have something to say. I'm very talkative in meetings, so that's not me, but I have friends who have said this. Because there's suddenly rather than just being able to contribute when they feel like they have something to say, they're being dragged into points that they wouldn't necessarily comment on, or they're getting attention put on them when they don't want it on them. So that's been very draining, very, very stressful. So while video calls have opened up a lot of doors in terms of meetings, both professionally and for stuttering groups as well, they've also brought some challenges in the constant surveillance and in the people being able to see your mouth when you stammer as well. For some people that is even more of a trigger, that you're not only stammering but people are definitely looking at you. And like, while that's more comforting to me, I'd rather someone saw me stammer and knew what was happening. For other people, that's just extra pressure, because not only are you having to deal with the stammer yourself, you're having to deal with knowing that people are watching. I do think that it's been very interesting how this pandemic has really changed the way we work, and I think it is going to change the way we work going forward. As someone who stammers, it's thrown up some opportunities and some challenges, because I've been able to join meetings I wouldn't have been able to because they were up north, international, whatever, but I've had to disclose my stammer more through video conferences, video calls, than I might have had to in an in-person meeting, because it's almost more featured in a video call than it would be in in-person meetings. I don't want to be that person who's defined by their stammer, like who meets someone and the first thing they say is, "Hi, I'm Lynn, I stammer," because that's not who I am. And I feel like if that's how you introduce yourself, then that's potentially what people remember about you. However, in these video calls, that's what I had to do, because I didn't know whether I was going to stammer, and I didn't want people to not be sure what was going on if it happened. It's weird, because it's something I'm happy to do if I'm giving a presentation, but because I know that my speech and my voice is crucial there. I'm definitely going to be speaking. I'm the only one who's going to be speaking, so if I do stammer, they'll hear it. Whereas in a team meeting, because it's not as high pressure on the spot, there's no guarantee I'm going to stammer, because I don't always stammer in general conversation. It's the toss-up between disclosing it to be safe, and then they know, or not disclosing it and then something does happen and I block and they don't realise what it is and they're blaming the internet or whatever. Yeah, it's one of these things, because I'm very much about acceptance and accepting that I stammer, disclosing my stammer and telling people I stammer. But there are other parts of me, and while I'm happy to disclose my stammer, I don't want to do it if it's not relevant, because that's not all I am. So that's been another challenge for me personally. I don't know if anyone else has had that, whereby they need to decide whether to disclose or not on video calls. But I've picked and chose as I felt appropriate. And it's one of these things where there's no right answer. You need to do what's best for you and make that decision for yourself. So, I'm going to wrap that up there. I just wanted to get some thoughts out about everything that's been going on around video calls, because they've been such a big part of everything over the last few months. That is my thoughts on it. Like, what are your thoughts? I would love to hear like what other people think about this, whether you've had similar experiences to either me or my friends, whether you completely disagree with everything I've said. Sound off in the comments below. I would love to read that, have that conversation. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, then please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you want to see more from me in the future, and let me know what you want to see. You can follow me on my social medias, all of them will be in the description below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!